Doesn't feel like it was that long ago that we were here announcing this initiative. And we look forward to showing everyone what's been produced thus far. But before we begin, I'd like to recognize some people. First, all the teachers and students who submitted PSAs, including the winners here today. You put a lot of creativity, a lot of thought into expressing a very complex message. I also want to thank the Vermont NEA and President Don Tinney for your efforts and for making this contest student-led. I think it'll be proven to be the right approach. And finally, I want to thank our broadcasting partners for covering the press conference today and your willingness to show the PSAs more broadly in the future. As I mentioned 2 months ago, when we announced this initiative, the safety of our schools and communities is incredibly important. Vermont is one of the safest and healthiest states in the country, and it's ongoing effort that we must do more, we should do more, that's always in the back of my mind. I appreciate all the help school leaders and teachers have devoted to these efforts, particularly in the last year. You are ultimately the ones working closest to kids, and your relationships with them is what makes these PSAs and their message so powerful, and we hope successful. Before turning it over to Rob Evans, I want to make one observation. In the last 18 months, I've had the opportunity to speak with a lot of young people, a lot of young Vermonters, particularly on the issue of school safety. And I've been inspired by their thoughtfulness and ability to initiate change. So as we look to make progress in this area, it's so important to make sure they continue to be part of the conversation. It's incredibly important. So now I'd like to introduce Rob Evans to say a few words. Rob?
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. Again, my name is Rob Evans, and I'm the School Safety Liaison Officer for Vermont's Agency of Education and Department of Public Safety. I want to take just a moment to say thank you to Governor Scott for his continued support of our important school safety initiatives, and to Secretary French and Commissioner Anderson for providing their guidance and support for this important work. I'm so proud of the work these students from across Vermont have done to support the See Something, Say Something campaign. Whether it's preventing self-harm, speaking out against hazing, harassment, or bullying, or speaking up when you see some concerning behaviors or social media posts that may lead to a pathway of violence. It's a community caretaking approach to ensure we all have safe communities, schools, and neighborhoods to raise our families and go to school. It's about every member of our community looking out for one another. We know through our research and analysis of past active shooter events that those who commit these crimes, more often than not, tell someone about their plans or posts on social media platforms about their violent intentions. And we know, like in the case of Fairhaven High School, that if we have people who are willing to step up and share their concerns for what they have seen or what they may have heard, we have a real chance of stopping acts of violence. I especially want to say thank you to the students here today for caring enough to get involved, for being leaders in your schools and communities, and for being a shining example of how, if we all work together, we really can make a difference. Congratulations for a job well done.
Thanks, Rob. So before introducing the winning teams and their public service announcements, I want to just take a moment to thank Kendall Smith of the Governor's Office, who was instrumental in getting this contest off the ground. And also to thank Aaron Green, Christy Ferguson, and Darren Allen at Vermont NEA for providing support through this process, which was just a little bit more complicated than I had expected. The biggest thank you, however, goes to our students and educators from 7 different video production teams who all produced significant PSAs. We not only appreciate their talent and creativity, but also their commitment to making their schools safe places for their fellow students. Our schools must be sanctuaries for the children and youth of Vermont. As educators, we need to continue to have conversations with students about seeing something and saying something. We want our students to be vigilant without becoming vigilantes. We want our students to take responsibilities for their friends and their community without feeling a heavy psychological burden. These short videos will be a great way for educators to enhance the discussions many of them are already having with their students. Now, as an old English teacher, there's nothing I'd rather do than celebrate our students' ability to tell a story. The winning PSAs are all well produced and powerful in 3 distinct ways, all meeting or exceeding the criteria we established. While 2 of the PSAs are set in schools, 1 leaves campus and asks young people to take responsibility for the greater community. At the close of this video, the image of a young child walking down the sidewalk, holding the hand of a protective adult, reminds us all of what is at stake. The second PSA features students supporting each other as they make the decision to seek help for a troubled peer by going directly to an educator. It also deals specifically with the Fairhaven incident, reminding us that this threat is real. The third video contains no spoken language, but creates a powerful scene in which a young man makes a decision to go to the principal with information he has found. Just by watching his facial expressions, you can tell that this is a difficult decision, but he finds the compassion and the strength to do the right thing in service to his fellow student. He does exactly what we are asking our students to do and what many students are already doing across the state, looking out for one another. So without further ado, let's move to the Academy Award moment and introduce our 3rd place winner.
Your community is where you live. Help keep it and those you care about safe. Law enforcement cannot be everywhere all the time, but our citizens are. So if you see something, say something.
So for Northwest Technical Center, Declan Kuchar, team leader, teacher Anthony Sorrentino, Kaylee, and students Kaylee Green and Greg Torber.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very much.
And nope.
All right.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Anthony? I'll give you the money. So. Get it closer. All set? And here's our 2nd place winner.
Additional shots fired. Police are responding to reports of an active shooter at a high school in Santa Fe.
17 people killed in a mass shooting at a Florida high school.
I always kind of felt like eventually it was going to happen here too. I wasn't surprised, I was just scared.
I saw him with a gun on his phone, and I don't know if I should say something or not.
You gotta say something or you can hurt everyone. Let's get you some help.
Why are you helping me?
Everyone matters.
Hey, you have to do something about this.
Thank you. Because someone said something, my school avoided a school shooting. If you see something, you must say something. Don't wait until it's too late.
Second place award winners from Stafford Technical Center, Logan Kenyon, team leader, teacher Christina Kumka, and students JJ Flemons and Yvonne Swinnington.
Okay. So how many of them?
So I'm the leader. I'm JJ.
Thank you. I recognize you. That's it?
And our teacher coming in?
I guess.
Okay. quick one. Thank you. Thank you. And first place. Okay, I was nervous about that. So congratulations. Northside Cinema Hazen Union with TV Parchment Team Leader, teacher Jessica Labonte, and students Xavier Hart-Marion, Brianna Hislop, Ramonda Lowenthal are here with us today. Did I get the names right? Close enough? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the cash awards are $250 for third place, $500 for second, and $1,000 for first place. And we thank our members of Vermont NEA for providing those funds. So thank you everybody for your creativity. Thank you for making the trip down. Thank you, Governor, for your partnership in this process, and thank you all for being here today. And I'll turn it back over to Governor.
Yeah, we'd be happy to open up to questions, and if you have any for the students, I think that would be great as well, if they're willing to talk.
If some of the team leaders could just talk about what inspired their videos, it would be very helpful.
Come on. You come up here. Back up.
Well, so mine started from a personal experience in around junior year. I found a note on the ground that had some hints of like explicit self-harm issues, and I took that to a teacher, and from there I brought that to my group when we first got assigned this Say Something, Say Something campaign. And from there it kind of rolled with the idea of, you know, small things happen in schools every day, and to make that one choice to do something.
You just say your name.
Tyvee. Yeah.
What's your last name, Tyvee?
Parchment.
And what grade are you in?
I'm a 12th grader.
Tyvee, when people see this piece that you and your classmates put together, it's going to be, of course, on statewide television. How do you hope it strikes people? What do you hope the takeaway is from this?
We kind of wanted it to be like simple. It started out with an easy transition, you know, very casual. You were in the hallway, but that moment where our friend Elliot has that face of confusion, and you know he's confused whether he's going to say something or not. I want that to be profound. I want that to be the moment where they're like, there's a split second where you can make a choice, and it can make the difference.
Well, you've seen, of course, real emergencies. One of the other teams talked about the experience in Fairhaven. You know, real emergencies that were thwarted thanks to someone speaking up. Do you think that this is really going to make a difference?
I'd hope so.
And why is that so important?
Well, I think that on the news nowadays, it's all about school safety and school shootings. And I know as a high schooler and being surrounded by other high schoolers, when we get threats or we hear these things, it is unsettling. And I think moments like this, when people acknowledge that there is a danger, and to be proactive and to acknowledge it and to try to be kind of activists to fight against that, makes people feel more secure, and it makes, at least I know for us, to feel more empowered as high schoolers to say, I have a voice and I can do something.
What is A+ answer?
What is sort of that internal conflict for somebody that's in high school wrestling with whether or not to disclose this information that they think may or may not be useful, or to withhold it and not say anything?
I think it's kind of social pressures. You don't want to accuse someone of something if you don't know, or that feeling of like, what if I say something and it's wrong? Almost like when you raise your hand in class. And so I think it's that kind of nerve-wracking, like, I don't know if I should do this. What will people say? What if I'm wrong?
Could someone from Fairhaven, maybe?
Yeah, the other team leaders, do you have anything?
Yvonne, do you want to?
You can.
I can speak on behalf of Yvonne. If you just want to, do you want to come? She's a little shy. She's a little shy. Okay. Come here. I'll stand here with you. I'll stand here.
We don't bite. Not too hard.
Yeah, they do, but not you.
These people are tough questions for the governors. You got it easy.
Well, what do you want to know?
Talk about what inspired your particular video.
So I have multiple friends who went to Fairhaven High School and still do go to Fairhaven High School, and this was like a real life thing. It happened pretty recently, in my opinion, but I don't know, you see it real happening right in your backyard, literally, and it kind of makes you think about it, like, what if a bunch of people I know are just not there tomorrow at school? So you kind of want to make a difference and say something or make a PSA so other people can know what to do and make this not a thing anymore.
How has that awareness that you're talking about changed since the incident that you're describing over the past, say 14 months? Is there much more tangible awareness today that people need to speak up than there was a year plus ago?
Yeah, I think the whole school shooting thing wasn't as prominent like a while back, but now it's kind of like a thing because we see it happening all over the place. And I think now it's super well known, and people do talk about it because it's happening and they don't want to see it happen. Sorry if that didn't answer your question exactly.
What's your name, sir?
Logan Kenyon.
Logan, how often do you think about the dangers of being at school? Or what might happen?
Okay, so last year when I had heard about the whole incident at Fairhaven, that's when I was really thinking about it, and it was definitely like a first thought in my mind, like going to school. So it's kind of scary, I guess, and I didn't want to see that happen around here, especially at a school where multiple people I knew went there. And I can only imagine how people would feel if it has actually happened at their school, because it's just like unimaginable. I don't know. I don't know how to put it into words, I guess. Does anyone else want to say anything?
If I'd like to speak on behalf of schools, my school in particular. I'm the teacher at Stafford Technical Center, and I just want to say that these kids have a tangible sense of what this is now, because we have been actively doing run, hide, fight drills this whole year in coordination with Vermont State Police and local police authorities, and schools are really making an effort to prepare kids for the worst case scenario. I also want to say that all the credit needs to be given to these kids, especially the ones from Fairhaven, who some of them have come to different schools because they were so scared to stay at Fairhaven. And I even think Fairhaven is doing a great job at protecting their school now because of this thwarted incident. So I want to give credit to the kids for being aware of it, and I also want to give credit to the schools for making kids so aware of it.
Anybody else have anything to offer?
I know from our video, we know that there's a lot of like scary aspects involved with this idea of see something, say something. Like at Fairhaven, like there could have been an active shooter, and I know that that's a very like scary idea, but we wanted to focus more on the like shedding light on how this campaign like brings safety to our community, this idea of keeping the entire community safe, not just the schools, but that was our idea in our video.
And what's your name?
Kaylee Green.
Thank you.
Are all three videos they'll be played on the networks?
Right. They'll be shared with all the broadcasters as well as social media. Yes, all three will be. It'll be up to the broadcasters which ones. show.
I think there's another round of edits to make sure
Yep.
that there's no copyright infringements or anything like that.
Do you have a time frame for when that would be?
Yes, just ask Kendall Smith in the governor's office. She'll tell you exactly when. No, we haven't. It'll be in the next couple of weeks.
Neil's holding tonight. So
Sure.
Governor, do you have any reaction to seeing these put together videos done by Vermont high school students? What is your, overall thought on their hard work?
Yeah, obviously very powerful, and it's great to have all these students step up, take action, and take this into their own hands as well, because it's a group effort. We can't do it on the state level, we can't do it on the local level, state police, and so forth. We need students to be involved. And it was so powerful when we look at the incidents over the last year in our own state. See something, say something has come into play. Without the actions of students, something horrific could have happened. So we think this is incredibly important and very, very powerful. I thank them. It's very creative, and look forward to more creativity in the future.